eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
What the hell is going on? Beautiful people, thank you for being here. It's been a few days. It's been too many days, actually. But we've got something special. We've got something that's been requested for a long time. And it's actually something that I've never really dived into before. So we are going in raw together tonight. I've never seen this interview. I watched a little bit of it just to kind of, just check. But for the most part, I really have no idea what we're getting into here. But the Billy Meier story is something that is like famous in ufology, right? And a lot of people are probably surprised by the fact that I have never looked into it. It is true. It is true. I'm not across everything. I do my best, though. The reason why you guys may have heard of him is because he's pretty controversial, right? He's one of those people, I guess, kind of like, not as much anymore, but like Bob Lazar, right? I feel like Bob Lazar used to be very polarizing. People were just thought he was just an absolute fraudster. And then I feel like over the years, his credibility has kind of gone up. And I think most people generally believe him. At least I do. And I think with Billy, it's the same kind of thing. There are people who are all in on what he has to say. And there are people who just think he's a complete bullshit artist, right? And that's why I find it interesting. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. We've got about an hour-long interview of his to watch. But we're going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory first. So let's actually, before we do that, Laurie, thank you for becoming a member, you little weirdo. Aaron Clark, celebrating 3 months, says, I've been around a lot longer than 3 months, but this last 3 months has flown by. Thanks for all the crazy shit that you've taught me. My pleasure, bro. And thank you for your support as well. Kelly Hall says, wow, you guys manifested me so many snow days. We can stop now. Stop sending out the snow day energy to Kelly, everyone. She's had enough. Thank you very much, Kelly. Abraxas, celebrating 7 months, says, thanks for all you do, Josh. My pleasure, man. Thank you for being here and all of your support. It's a long time. Corrupt NPC, my bro, has gifted a membership. Thank you very much. And Usurper Jacob with 6 months says, 6 months as a member, day 5 sober, life is good. Hell yeah, brother. Shout out to you. Nice work. Let's keep that going. All right, let's jump over here. So let's start with this, right? If for anyone who doesn't know, we've probably all seen that little small sectioned out picture in this photograph here. I want to believe famous UFO poster. Well, it comes from a Billy Meier photograph. Okay, so what you can actually see here, the broader scope, is the photograph that you can see here, bottom left. Okay, it actually isn't like the metadata, but it's from Billy Meier, and I think it was taken in Sweden, which is where he's from. Excuse me. So I just thought I would share this because I feel like at the very least, if you don't know who Billy Meier is, you've probably seen at least the poster before, right? So it kind of gives you a bit of familiarity with what we're getting into today. But as always, with this kind of old deep dive series that we kind of do, lately we've been reading from Wikipedia. And I think we'll continue to do that because I think it's fun because obviously Wikipedia is not the arbiter of truth. We know that. It is controlled. But that doesn't mean things on here. It doesn't mean there isn't some truth on here. But it also kind of gives us a bit of a thought experiment or a challenge to see what, the mainstream narrative and what the controlled information is about him. And then we can use our own minds to listen to Billy and kind of decide what we really feel is true or what is actually resonating with us, rather than just blindly reading a controlled internet page as a gospel, right? But I still think it's interesting. So there's not a heap actually here. It only goes to here. So we may actually just read all of this, okay? So Edward Albert Meier is his real name, commonly nicknamed Billy, is the founder of a UFO religion called, I'm not going to attempt this because it's just those words are just too much. But to translate it, it's called the Free Community of Interest for the Border and Spiritual Sciences and Ufological Studies. And he's an alleged contactee whose UFO photographs are claimed to show an alien spacecraft. Meier claims to be in regular contact with extraterrestrial beings that he calls the Plejaran. Now, this, I believe, the Plejaran is just a Swedish interpretation of Pleiadians. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but this is my understanding of it so far. He also presented other material during the 1970s, such as metal samples, sound recordings, and film footage. Meier claims to be the seventh reincarnation after 6 prophets, common to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Meier has been widely characterized as a fraud by skeptics and ufologists who suggest that he used models to hoax photos and claims to show alien spacecraft. Meier's prophecies repeatedly blame Jews, who he refers to as gypsies, for future atrocities. I feel like there's going to be some people in the chat who are going to think his credibility just went way up. The background here honestly isn't too interesting. It basically just says he was convicted of a couple of like minor offenses for like theft and stuff when he was a teenager. But I think what we want to know about is the alleged extraterrestrial contact. Meier claims his extraterrestrial encounters began in 1942 at the age of 5 when he met an elderly Plejaran man named Svath. After Svath's death in 1953, Meier said he began communicating with an extraterrestrial woman, though not Plejaran. Her name was Asket. He said all contact ceased in 1964, then resumed on January 28, 1975, where he met Semjase, the daughter of Svath. And shortly thereafter, another Plejaran man, Tar, other extraterrestrials have since allegedly joined the dialogue as well. First thing I think of there is that the names of these extraterrestrials seem very Swedish, right? Which is convenient given that Billy is Swedish as well. But if we are talking about Pleiadians, which, and look, you guys can maybe correct me on this because I actually don't know. I mean, really, who knows? But my interpretation is Pleiadians and Nordics are kind of like the same, maybe not the same, but at least like when I picture them, they're kind of the same. They're very similar looking. Are we on the same wavelength here? Because pointing out that they have very Swedish names to me is like, well, he's a Swedish guy. Is he just naming them Swedish names because he's making it up, right? That would make sense. However, Nordics also look Swedish. So if Nordics and Pleiadians are the same kind of thing, maybe they would have kind of Swedish names. I don't know. I digress. Let's keep going. Meier founded the Free Community of Interest for the Border of Spiritual Sciences and Ufological Studies, a non-profit organization based on his alleged contact with Semjase in the late 1970s, and established his Semjase Silver Star Center. The organization's headquarters is in Switzerland. Okay, so I guess that's important to highlight as well before we get into the interview. This is a non-for-profit organization. So, you know, when we're contemplating why people would hoax things, or when we're discussing people who are either a hoax or not, I think it's the most important question is like, what have they gained from their hoax? And I find most of the time the answer is not much, if anything, just the reputation of being a lunatic, right? And then, like, if that is the case, you have to wonder, why would they continue doing it? Why would they continue doing it after 3, 5, 10, 20 years? If people still just think you're a liar and a lunatic, to continue to double down on your claims, if they really are false, is crazy. That really is crazy. But who knows? There are crazy people out there. Dan says, I know the Pleiadian are the same as tall whites, but not sure if the tall whites are the same as Nordics. Okay. My understanding is that Nordics and tall whites are different. Tall whites are like what Charles Hall talks about, like what Peter Curry spoke about, like very translucent, milky white skin, eyes bigger than ours, very blue eyes, like white hair. Whereas Nordics are literally just like tall, like Aryan looking, beautiful humans with blonde hair, essentially. That is the difference. Tall whites don't look human. That's my understanding. Okay, photographs and film. This is the last section we'll read before we get into the interview. Meier's photographs and films are claimed by him to show an alien spacecraft floating above the Swiss countryside. Okay, I thought it was Sweden, but maybe it's Switzerland. Or maybe he just took the photo in Switzerland. He calls the alleged spaceships beam ships from Plejaren. According to Meier, the Plejaren gave him permission to photograph and film their beam ships so that he could produce evidence of their extraterrestrial visitations. Some of Meier's photos are claimed by him to show prehistoric Earth scenes, extraterrestrials, and celestial objects from an alleged non-earthly vantage point. Okay, that's interesting. Meier's claims are widely characterized as fraudulent by scientists, skeptics, and most ufologists who say that his photographs and films are hoaxes. In interviews with author Gary Kinder, Meier admitted to using models to recreate scenes after his wife showed photos of incomplete models he thought he had destroyed by burning. Okay. During a 2017 art exhibit about conspiracies, many of Meier's photographs were shown. Photography curator Gordon MacDonald commented on examinations from the 1970s that the photos weren't doctored, saying just because photographs are real, i.e. real images made with a real camera, doesn't mean they are of what the person says they're of. One of Meier's photographs is notable for being the background of the I Want to Believe poster in the X-Files, before an intellectual property lawsuit forced producers to change the poster background to a different photo in the 4th season of the series. There you go. All right, last little paragraph here. In 1997, Meier's ex-wife, Calliope, we'll go with Calliope, told interviewers that his photos were of spaceship models he crafted with items like trash can lids, carpet tracks, and other household objects, and that the stories he told of his adventures with the aliens were similarly fictitious. She had also said photos of purported extraterrestrial women Aska and Nera were really photos of Michelle Delafave and Susan Lund, members of the singing and dancing troupe The Gold Diggers. It was later confirmed that the women in the photographs were members of the Gold Diggers performing on the Dean Martin show. Okay, there we go. Some interesting stuff there. How much can you trust an ex-wife? I don't know. Could be a very scorned ex-wife. Who really knows? But why I think it's good to just get this is to hear what the mainstream narrative is about this person, and then we can dive in and just get a read on this guy and see how we feel about it ourselves. So let's get rid of this. And just before we do, 420 Breezy. How's it going, y'all? It's cold down here, man. Stay warm, grounded, and high. Much love from the Lone Star State. Yeah, I never, for some reason, I never picture places like that in America being cold. I don't know why. It's just always like hot to me out there. But that is obviously not the case because you guys are literally getting snow right now. So stay warm. My country, back home, Australia, is basically burning to the ground. Not literally, but it's like 45 degrees Celsius, which is like 115 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. Di was 6 months, says proud member. Thanks, Josh and Weirdos. Di, thank you for your 6 months and all of your support. I appreciate you a lot. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Just over an hour of Billy Meier. We'll stop off along the way as we need. This is an interview from 1989, so naturally the audio isn't crispy clear like my voice is right now, but it is still clear enough for us to listen if we pay attention. Here we go.
The difference between spirit and spirit form.
Oh, okay. I think we can just talk a little bit about spirit forms, probably the easiest. The spirit forms that we are, what is the difference between spirit and spirit form?
There is no a difference because spirit form or spirit is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But if we are talking about the human being, we are speaking from the spirit form in the human being. And generally we speak from the spirit.
Okay, so the spirit form goes through many material lives. And what is the purpose of the material life?
The human have to stay in a material life to study. to learn, to get a good evolution. That's the reason why he lives. And when he dies, the spirit or the spirit form goes to the other side and is studied there too. And if the whole study is fulfilled there in the other side, then the spirit form returns to the earth into a new human body. And then it starts everything from the beginning again.
So he's basically saying, like, I think like Jordan Crowder talks about this kind of stuff a lot, that Earth is basically just like a consciousness simulator, that we are here for the soul to kind of like learn, evolve, and grow. But to do that, we have to sort of incarnate in a physical form. And you also kind of have to, I guess, come in with like a sense of amnesia, right? Because if you sort of knew why you were here, it would sort of like lack weight and grab, maybe even lack a bit of like realism and purpose if you know that there is sort of like a life beyond it. It's interesting to hear someone in 1989 talking about the same kind of concepts. And by the way, I know a lot of people struggle with accents. So if you want, like, I can kind of like rehash what he's saying a little bit if you feel like you need that. But me personally, I can understand him fine.
Is it possible to be born on another planet than the one you die on?
No. You are on this planet, if you are living on this planet and you die, then you have to reincarnate on this planet again. It's impossible to leave this planet as a spirit form, because this spirit form is fixed to this planet where the material body died.
How long does it take to come back into a new life?
The normal turnus is by 150 and 2 years. But now, in the new age, the new time, there is everything changed. Because there is a big overpopulation, and all of the laws are somehow broken, and the spirit forms who goes to the other side, they have to return out of the normal time. Maybe they will be in the other side for 10 years or 30 years or 70 years, and not 150 and 2, and then they have to return. And these all about the overpopulation we have on Earth.
Is it possible for
This is, look, he's talking about like the overpopulation of Earth, which is a topic that, you know, kind of pops up, not so much in ufology, but in this kind of like doomer topics, you know, that we're overpopulated and it's going to be culled in some way or another. I think I had a thought just the other day where I wondered, like, because we often talk about NPCs, right? Actually, okay, sorry. One thing at a time. I'm going to put up a poll. Okay, the poll is up. Just a current read on how you're feeling about Billy, okay? And we'll repoll at the end. As I was saying, and we often talk about NPCs, right? People who just like sort of seem like soulless, right? In a sense of like, it's like they're just not really there. Like they're just kind of happy existing. They don't really like seem to have critical thought. They just kind of are. And they seem like happy enough to be that way, right? We generally call these people NPCs. I wondered if like, I just had this weird thought the other day where like, what if there is like an extra layer of like soul consciousness or something? There's like there's something else that's not physical that some people have that kind of makes you either an NPC or not. Okay. And what if like the overpopulation thing is that the issue we have on Earth is there is so many NPCs because whatever this extra thing is that makes the difference between an NPC or not is like not infinite. There's only like a certain amount of this like energy of this whatever to go around. And right now we are breeding beyond that. And that's why we have this like large section of humans who just kind of like don't really contribute. They just are kind of like there. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. This is just like literally just a random shower thought that I had. But I was like, what if the overpopulation thing explains like the NPC issue? And like whatever the difference is like because like that's why it's overpopulated. I don't know. Just a shower thought, but I thought I'd bring it up. Let's keep going. By the way, the poll is up. Currently, 45% of you guys are feeling unsure.
Normal people to contact the other side?
No, it isn't. There are around the world 16 people who are able to get contact with the other side, but not any one of them will go out to tell somebody I am able to do it. Because it isn't necessary and it isn't the right way to do this. It's absolutely wrong. If somebody says he has a contact with the other side, with people who died, then he is a liar.
No, he's confused in his thinking, yeah. I think
a liar or actor or something like that.
A foolish person.
Foolish person.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, many people think they are in contact with people from the other side and that the other side is a world just like this and they go visit them all the time. Mm-hmm. And on the other side is only the spirit, right? There's no personality.
No, there isn't.
Yeah. So
you see, and there is so many people around this world who says that they have contact with the other side or with aliens or with demons or devils or what you ever like. That's all not true. The most of them, it's illness. They have an overturned mind. They are sick. They are what?
I think sick.
They are out of mind.
Do the Pleiadians have the ability to know when a woman is pregnant, for instance, on a Pleiadian world? Can the Pleiadians tell who the spirit is coming in?
Yes, they have the possibility.
How soon can they tell? When do they know?
They can do this in a very short time, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah.
Because they go to recognize what happened there, which spirit is there in the new baby who is created. They have the possibilities on a meditative way.
So that helps them understand who the spirit is then.
Yeah.
So they have a better ability to help that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this would be good for school, for education, then.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I'm talking. Yeah, 5 million people were.
I'm not like a body language expert by any means, but I do find his body language quite interesting. Like he is extremely just like, I guess calm is like the best way to put it, right? Like he's not fidgeting. He's not even really moving. He's not even moving his head. He's just in this kind of like position, staring straight at the interviewer pretty much with it, where he's not even having much eye movement. Like there is And I feel like when people are lying, there's generally this like shiftiness in their facial features, usually their eyes, because they're trying to sort of like search for what they want to say or how they can say it. Whereas like when you're speaking just from truth, like you already know, like you don't need to think about that. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that means he's telling the truth, because I really do think that there is like a middle lane of people speaking what they believe is truth, and that may not necessarily be like an objective reality, right? Again, don't know if that's the case here, but I think it's just so much more nuanced than like grifter or complete truth. I think it's just far more complicated than that in all cases. Build on Sound, celebrating 5 months, says, why does Billy Meier look like a time traveler version of Jordan Crowder, who went back in time to take the iconic picture of the I Want to Believe? I can see that, bro. Yep, I can definitely see that. The beards are on point. Absolutely. Thank you for the 5 months as well. Larissa Kelstrom gifted 5 memberships. Larissa, you are too kind. Thank you very much. Let's get some love in the chat for Larissa and the 5 new weirdos that we just collected. And the Skinny with 5 months says, he's interesting. I'd like to chat with him after several beers. Absolutely. And thank you for the 5 months, Mr. Skinny. All right, let's keep going.
Billy, one of the most common questions is there are a lot of people on Earth, and many people would like to know, if it's possible, why did the Pleiadians contact you? Was there a special reason?
That's a special reason. Because I'm the single one on Earth who is able to have a physical contact or a telepathic contact with the Pleiadians. There is no any other human being on Earth who is able to do the same thing like I do. And this has a very long story. It goes back to a very old time on...
I mean, that's always got to be sus, right? That's always got to be sus. Sus dogs popping up all day when you hear someone say no one else on the planet can do or have contact like I do. I'm sorry. Sus dog is here for that one. Let's keep going.
The stars of the Lyra picture and Vega picture, and to a level who is called Arahat Aptarzata. And my spirit form was very long time ago, million, billion years, trillion years ago, in the level of the Arahat Aptarzata, and came back to the human world to teach the people in the truth about creation and their law.
You say the level?
And this happens on the Lyrian planet, so, and the vegan planet, so, and then at later time on the Earth too, because the old Lyrians and vegans came to Earth, and the old spirit form of Mai came with them as a human, in a human being, who was teaching the people here on Earth. And then on Earth we have a very true line from the oldest time up to today, where I have done always the same job, the same mission.
Do you think your mission, will there be more lifetimes for the mission?
Yes, there have to be.
Mm-hmm. Are the Pleiadians, I think the Pleiadians are related to us somehow, that many of us maybe are Pleiadians, some people think, or Lyrians, and are there...
there are not Pleiadians on Earth. There are old Lyrians and vegans on Earth.
There are no Pleiadians on Earth. There are Lyrans and vegans. Can anyone work out what he's saying in that second word? I mean, it could be vegans. I don't think it is. I don't think they're aliens. They might be, but I don't think he's saying vegans. But I can't think of what he is saying. Rambro's gifted a membership. Rambro, thank you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate your support as always. And the Skinny says the dude is Blinkmaster General. Vega from the star Vega. Venus. Okay. Okay, he is saying vegans, but he was talking about the star Vega. Okay, never heard of it, but we can go with it. Okay, the vegans and the Lyrians are here.
There was a leadership by 144,207 different people, and they was leading all the Lyrians and vegans who came from the star picture there to Earth by some 50 or 52 million people from.
Mick says, I've heard of him, but has this chosen one done much to try and reach the world? Like, did he go on a world tour? I don't know, but I will say that, like, I feel like a lot of these people, right, when they have these contact experiences, almost like, if I'm to put myself in their shoes, like, in a way, almost understandably, because you put chosen one in quotations, I feel like it would be not hard, but like I can almost understand why people may start to feel like they are chosen in a way and start to give off this, like, I am the only one, I'm the chosen one, right? Which is obviously going to put off 99% of the people, right? No one likes to hear that. So it's like, I don't know. Like, it's like, do you need to, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I guess the fact that, like, could these things actually be happening, but like the human condition makes us automatically be like, oh my God, this is so wild, I must be chosen. And then other humans are just like, no, you're just a human being. And we automatically don't want to listen to them. I don't know. I just try to think about, like, how, what impact, if what he's saying is real, what impact would it actually have on your psyche? It's the ego. Exactly. I think like the human ego plays a massive role in, like, all of this stuff and how we handle it on both sides, listening to it and experiencing it.
From Vega and Lyra. And if we have alien spirit forms on Earth, then only Lyrians and vegans, and from the planet Malona, who destroyed in our solar system. And these are about around about 50 or 55 million too. And other aliens we haven't on Earth. Without them who are coming here for visiting or exploring.
So many people who think maybe they used to live on a Pleiadian world, and you think there are any spirits here that used to be Pleiadians?
No.
No.
Pleiadians, no.
Really, one of the more interesting things, I think, to the stories we've heard about is your time travel. It's very fascinating because time is something that's very difficult to understand for all of us. And I think one of the things many people would like to know, if you can go back in time, like you have in the ship, is it possible to go back and change history? Can you change right now if you went back in time?
No, you can't change history.
Oh, you can't?
No.
What would happen if you went back, say, 100 years and changed your parents or caused them not to be born?
It's impossible.
Elaborate.
You can't go back to kill somebody that cannot shall be living today. It's impossible. It's not possible to go back to change your parents. What happened what's going on is what's going on and is not changeable. That's a little bit a funny idea of the human being to can do something like this, but it is impossible.
I think in the movies they
Because in the movie you can do such things, but in reality it's absolutely impossible because there are laws and then you don't can go to break because these are laws of the creation, and the creation with the creation you can't play and do not with the laws.
Billy, one of your time travel.
Bro, like, it's okay. So he asked him, like, does time travel work this way to go back in time? He basically said, like, no, it doesn't. How is the next question not, okay, how does it work then? Like, it's okay to say nah, but like, okay, then how? Come on.
Trips. The Pleiadians made it possible for you to go visit Emmanuel. And who was Emmanuel? Is he a man just like us, or what did they tell you about him?
About whom?
Emmanuel?
Emmanuel, he was a man like us. He was nothing else.
Did they have, did the Pleiadians, were they involved somehow with Emmanuel's life?
I don't understand.
At the time Emmanuel was here, did the Pleiadians, were they involved with him? Did they talk to him or help them? Was there any contact with him?
Yes, they was connected to him. They was working with him together.
And what did he tell you
and
about?
They was working on the same mission as today, together with Emmanuel. And he was working on the same mission too. And this mission goes back through the year 389,000 from now.
Do the Pleiadians have a special message for us, or why are they contacting us through you?
Good question.
The special message we have from the Pleiadians, we have all written in our books. There are about 10,000 pages, and the most important point of this message is this: to teach the earth people to the right way, back to the creation and the creation laws, to live with them and for them.
In the movies, they usually portray extraterrestrials as monsters or dangerous or using their ships to, harm us. Do you think we should? Is there any fear from the Pleiadians? Maybe you could tell us something about the creational laws. You talk about creation.
Like, it's always interesting to me when we hear this same recurring theme of, like, that the contact is trying to get us to sort of evolve, raise our consciousness, treat the planet better, treat each other better. This is a recurring theme, and like the idea of it is hard to argue with. Like, it is just obviously a good thing. It could only lead to a more positive way of life. So there's nothing wrong with the message, and it would make sense that a higher intelligence that is benevolent would want that for us. Like, all of those things do make sense. What doesn't make sense to me, though, is like, one, if they have this ability and they're doing this, why is it not happening sort of en masse to, way more people? So we are all, so rather than just one random dude being like, oh, they're telling me this, why is it not like everyone, it's happening on such a large scale that everyone's kind of looking left and right to their friends and going like, are you getting this message? We all need to be better. Yeah, me too. All right, well, I guess we should probably do it then. Like that would be far more believable, right? If everybody was kind of feeling the same way and getting these same kind of experiences, so we could all just be like, oh yeah, this is obviously happening because I can just corroborate it with everyone else around me. Or what also doesn't make sense about it is like, if this is a higher intelligence that is smarter than us, that it wants us to be better, why is it like, if it's a higher intelligence than us, surely it could see the things that we can all see that is going on in the world. And that is the fact that like 99% of us are kind of born into a system that has been designed to kind of suppress and keep us in a box, and that the world is kind of like dominated by like an imaginary, not imaginary, but an artificial like financial system that kind of like governs and sucks people into this system and hooks them into it for life. Once they start getting their mortgages and all this kind of shit, you're now in the system and you are now basically like a form of slave, right? You're a form of slave with a payment, but you're basically stuck in that if you want to live. So surely a higher intelligence that I'm sure doesn't have to pay tax and doesn't have to go to work and doesn't have to stress 45 hours a week just to keep a roof over their heads and feed their kids, right? Because, they're probably evolved out of that shit. Surely the higher intelligence wouldn't look down and contact Billy Meier or whoever and be like, you really need to fix this by raising your consciousness. Surely they would be like, no, these poor people are fucking trapped and enslaved by like a group of fucking vampires, basically. And that is the problem. So rather than like urging the victims to do something about it, we'll just go to the root cause and fix that. Again, things are probably far more complicated than that, but these are just the things that come to my mind on like when it makes sense, and then the questions that I have at the same time. Bleak says, sorry, I'm late, boss. That's okay. It has been noted though. So that is strike one, sir. If you're late again, I'll be making some notes of it. So we may have to mute you. No, I'm just kidding. Melissa Miola says, nothing, just gives me a cute little sticker. Thank you very much, Melissa. All right, let's keep going.
But what is the laws of creation? What do you mean by that?
The creation laws, the mostly of them you can find out in the free nature. If you are looking at the animals, the plants, the flowers, the trees, the whole life who is going on in the free nature, there you can find out the laws of the creation. What is the truth, how it is working, how it's going on, everything on the right, free and lawful way. And other laws you can find out through meditation, through initiation, through your feeling and through your own thinking. And if you get a clear hearing, clear feeling, what you need in the meditation too, clear seeing and everything like this.
See, stuff like that. I mean, again, that's stuff I think we can all agree with. Well, at least anyone who's actually put some time into meditating before has probably realized that it does bring clarity. It's sometimes, you do sometimes just get like answers to things that you've been wondering or wanting that just seem to like drop into your mind like a fully formed response. It almost like you already knew it, but you just forgot it and then you just remembered it. But it, like what, you remembered the answer to something that you've been wondering about for weeks. You know what I mean? So, this is that's why this shit is so interesting, because there's undoubtedly truth in what he's saying. At the very minimum, there is some truth in this.
Yeah. Does that mean that every spirit that comes into this planet does not have accidents, that they come in physically prepared?
Each spirit form who goes into a body of a human being, if comes a woman pregnant, is completely by good health. The spirit themselves, or the spirit form, how you like to say, is not able to come ill, to come sick. Doesn't possible. And the body of the baby, of each life form, has the right to be absolutely uninsured on body and spirit and mind and everything when it comes to this world or each other world in the space out.
What's life like with the Pleiadians? What are their lifestyles? Do they use money? Do they have cars?
No, they don't use money. They have other
Thought so.
system. They work 2 hours a day, and they have a check card. And if they was working these 2 hours a day, everywhere they want, they don't have a special place where they have to stay and to work. They can go around the world, everywhere, to work where they want. And this check card will be checked by a robot, by a machine, and then they can get everything they use and they like for living, for life, for luxury.
Do they have a big city like here on Earth?
They have big cities, not on the same size like our cities. There are separated, what you call, the house in the city, the houses in the city or the buildings in the city, they are like a square. And the room, the space inside is free for plants and trees and flowers, or for siesta and all this. It's each building the same for what shall I say, for this kind of life, what they are having there. And in each building there is just one family, by maximal 5 persons, the parents and 3 children, and not more.
I think also, do they have marriage like we do?
They have marriage, but how they do the marriage, I don't know. I haven't any idea. I only know there are the spirit leaders, or the spirit leaders who put together or bring together man and wife. And normally a man has between 1 and 4 wives.
Ben says, imagine divorcing after 200 years. God. Could you imagine? Scott Wee says Patrick James did an interview with a Palladium. Have you seen it? P.S. Love you all. No, I have not. With a Palladium. What is that? Do you mean like a Pleiadian? Is that what you mean? I've never heard of Palladium, if I'm even saying that correctly. Melissa, celebrating 2 months, says, love your live streams. Thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you for being here. And L Asteroid with 3 months says, so proud to be a member here. Love you guys. Oh, you guys are really showing me some love today. Thank you all very much. I appreciate all of your support.
Something else as we have here on Earth.
Is it possible for the women to also have many husbands?
No, they have one husband.
Wait. So the men have 2 to 4 wives, but the wives can only have one husband. Oh shit. So even the Plejarans have issues with equality, right? God damn.
At last, somebody got it right.
And the other
Space Mormons. God damn it.
buildings, the other houses they are outside of cities. And they are separated in
Does anyone know how to get to the Pleiades? I'm asking for a friend.
squares by 100 to 100 meters. And there inside is always one house only for one family.
Do they live longer than we do?
Yeah, they have around about 1,000 years.
Is that because of medical advances or science?
The whole evolution. And too, the old Lyrians and the old Vegans, they had a very high lifetime.
They have a very high lifetime with 4 wives. That's crazy. Melissa with $15 says, have 2 coffees on me. Thank you very much. My coffee has run full of ice cubes. I'm definitely gonna have to get a new one. Thank you, Melissa. Very generous. And Achy Balls. My man Achy Balls just threw in $100. That is real money. Thank you very much, Achy. And he didn't even leave a message. I don't know if that was by accident, but I will look out for a message in the chat, sir. Thank you very much for that, and also just all of your support on the channel, man. It really does mean a lot, and I appreciate you and all the wisdom that you like to drop for us. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much. Let's get some love in the chat for Aki.
Billy, what is the Gamut and how do we learn to work with it?
What is?
Wait, was it actually twice, or is that a glitch? Did he just do that twice? I don't know if that's a glitch or not. Look, if you did that twice, bro, that's actually insane. I'm trying to look out for your messages in the chat. You're just silently throwing in some cash for me. Speak up, sir. Thank you very much, man. You are a legend. I appreciate it.
Gamut?
It was twice?
The Gemüt. Das Gemüt. That's the spiritual part. I have to say it another way.
It was twice. It actually was. Okay. Wow. Thank you, man. I feel like thank you isn't enough when it's you know, when it's this kind of money. But just know, dude, it actually helps me so much. It really does. And it means a lot to me. Thank you, bro.
The Gemüt is the spiritual part of that, what we have in the material part, the psyche.
So it's the counterpart to the psyche on the material side of the mind.
Yeah.
I think it's like a sensor or something you said that connects us to creation.
You see, the Gemüt is in the spiritual part, the same thing what we have of psyche in the material part, in the physical body, and the Gemüt is working on the same wise as the psyche, together with wisdom and the feeling of the spirit, like the psyche in the material body with the thinking and the feeling.
One thing I know people are curious about is why we're born either a man or a woman, and do we go back and forth? And if you are a woman, do you stay a woman for a long time, or does it go back and forth?
No, you can change this from lifetime to lifetime. If you stay in this life, you are a man now, and
Not anymore. Not necessarily anymore, Billy. This is clearly from 1989. Not anymore, sir.
do you like to be a woman at the next lifetime, next reincarnation or next incarnation? Then you have to program yourself, your mind, we have again the word
Consciousness.
consciousness.
Imagine if someone told Billy in this interview that in 30 years, people can go from being a man into a cat in the same lifetime, and it's acceptable, and everyone else has to call you a cat. Otherwise you're the problem. That's crazy.
To get a free line to be at next time a woman.
So we have control over that.
You have control over it. But if you not are clear working, you don't know really what you now be a man or a woman, then it will be a little bit wrong at the next lifetime, because then you will be a homosexual man. If you not know what you will be really, if a woman or if a man.
So you must make the decision with clear thinking.
Yes.
And if you leave this life without clear thinking and you are confused if to be man or woman, then maybe you will come back homosexual.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That's it. He's figured it out. If you, after your last lifetime, don't make a clear decision on if you want to be a guy or a girl, you will come back as a homosexual. That'd be Billy Meier. Billy Meier, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you make the decision on the other side to be a man or a woman, or it must be first in the material life?
This you already up in your mind in the material life.
Do we have...
You will set in the material life the directly line to be that or that in the next life.
By the way, as much as I'm trolling him because it does sound wild, like at the end of the day, it is like, if we are to believe in like reincarnation and lives and all this kind of shit, I don't know. Maybe. Because like, what is it? What does make someone not just like, I guess homosexual is one thing, but I think also like, being born in the wrong body, because I do believe that is a thing, right? I do believe that is a thing. Obviously in the last sort of decade, the whole like transgenderism ideology is kind of really accelerated, which feels a little bit more, maybe a bit like manufactured in a way. But I do definitely believe that people are born in the wrong body, 100%. So the next like question to ask is like, why? Like what is causing that? Like something, is it from birth? What is it? Like what actually is it that causes that? I don't know. Here's an explanation. What do you guys think?
A lot of people are...
But you have to be careful about homosexuality. There is another kind of homosexuality.
Another kind?
The second one is made out of a disease.
Disease?
Yeah.
Like a sickness?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's saying there's a homosexuality that you're essentially born with due to making, it being indecisive in your astral body before incarnating on Earth. But there is another kind of homosexuality that is a disease. That's what he just said there.
Is it possible?
But both you can change through teaching. If you are teaching such people who is homosexual, you can help them maybe by what you say, psychology.
Oh, psychology.
Psychology.
Yeah. Help them with their thinking.
Yeah.
So if someone is homosexual this lifetime, then you can help them get their thinking clear, and the next time they will not be homosexual.
Yeah. Or maybe it's possible to change it in this life, that they come to real good thinkings and feelings, and they can change in this life. That's absolutely possible.
Is it possible to, if you choose next lifetime not to be physical, can you get into what they call light body?
No, that's absolutely impossible. The human being from the beginning, from the earliest beginning to that point when he comes a light body or a spirit body, how we say, it takes between 60 and 80 billion years, with several thousands or billions of incarnations or reincarnations, how you ever will say. It's absolutely impossible to have 3 incarnations or 1,000 incarnations on this earth, and then you will be so clever to get out of your body to come a light body or a spirit body. Is absolutely impossible. The earliest point.
What I find strange, and again, I don't know if it's like his Scandinavian personality traits, and I do think people from that part of the world are kind of like this, but they just come across in this very like very blunt and very like matter of fact way. Like actually Dutch people are very much like this. And I in some sense I find it kind of endearing in a way, because then they are just very like, they're not offended, they're not trying to offend you, they're just saying it. They're just saying what they know, and like if you take it the wrong way, that's on you. Like it's just they're just being upfront with you. He's not Dutch, by the way, but he's Swiss or Swedish. My apologies. He speaks in this same kind of way. It's like very blunt, very matter of fact. And I don't know, again, if it's just me, what I was just saying, like perceiving it like this, but it's hard not to when we're speaking about these kind of topics, right? And, he's asking questions about like, how old the earth is and how the Pleiadians live and how people are gay, right? And he's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's because you were indecisive in your past life, and the earth is 6 million years old, and no, that's impossible for the Pleiades. It's just so like, there's just so much confidence in things that are just beyond our realm of comprehension that make me like wrestle with what I'm listening to, of like, how can you be so confident? Or are you just Scandinavian? Are you really just like abruptly, like, I don't know. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? It's because he's making it up. It's because he's lying. Yeah, I don't know, because like I said, there are definitely little nuggets in what he's saying, like especially the meditation stuff. Like, I agree with that a lot. And there are other things that other people have said that sort of track with what he's saying too. But then it's just like, when you're so matter of fact with this crazy stuff, it's like, man, I don't know. Scott Wee says, sorry, but get a hold of Patrick Wild. He interviewed a guy that's saying he's from Palladium. Bro, you're losing me. Give me a link in Discord. I got no idea what you're talking about, brother, but thank you for the super chat. Link me in Discord.
Your need will be by 60 billion years, with several billions or millions incarnations or reincarnations.
After we evolve into light body, and past that we evolve back into creation, does that mean that the
This takes a very long time.
Yeah. Does that mean that the central core of the universe, the central sun, is that spirit forms, things that used to be spirit forms have now evolved into that?
The central form or the central sun, what you ever will say, that's the creation spirit, the going out of everything from our universe and of every life form. And there we will go back one time very far in the future. If you are in our evolution so high to be able to get the connection with that power. But there are, if we as humans leave or lose our bodies and grows up to a light form or spirit form, that's the first step, what I told you, between 60 and 80 billion years. Then are other levels with several trillion years and quadrillion years. It goes higher and higher up to the highest point, and the last one is the level of Petale, before the creation herself. And from the Petale level it's possible to get the highest body of spirit, the finest body of spirit, to enter the creation herself, to come once with her.
Could you imagine Billy at holiday gatherings after a couple of beers? I think it'd be great to have around. I would love to hear him. Weird Uncle Billy. Tell us about the pleasurance, Billy. Come on. Stevie with a $10 super chat doesn't leave a message, but I did see him drop something in the chat. He says, Josh is going to get Alex Collier on his show. I have a feeling. I reached out to him. Guys, I told you, I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know if people just like don't like me, but I just don't have good luck with reaching out to people and asking for them to come on. I don't even get responses. So like, I don't know if I'm going about it the wrong way. But often like I just don't even get replies from people. So I don't know. He hasn't replied. Don't know if it's going to happen. I hope so. But I do have another couple of interviews coming up soon with other people. But yeah, there are some names out there that I don't know. They just don't seem to reply.
You have another idea?
What are these things that we have called emotions?
What's in German?
Anger, hate, jealousy, fear.
Are we born with those?
Emotions, we say emotion.
Yeah.
Emotions. That's made out of the human being himself. He makes himself anger. He makes himself love. He makes himself everything what's falling into emotion. and motion have to be controlled by the human being, that it is giving out a point of evolution, not on that way that if you are angry goes to kill somebody or to hit somebody. Motions, they are always on this kind, like the human being then use or prepare, always wrong. They are not good. You have these motions to use them on this way that you start to control them, and the best thing what's going out as result of them to use for yourself and for your evolution.
So I didn't want to cut Billy off there, but wow, we have another $100 super chat from Christina. What is going on tonight? Have the coronal mass ejections just, I don't know, got people handing over their money? What is going on? Guys, thank you very much for your generosity, Christina, you beautiful soul. She says, my head is still spinning on the Brazilian occult and Ammon videos. Now our star ancestors, the Pleiadians, are getting some spotlight. It's a great time to be alive and intrigued as a weirdo on your channel. Excellent work, Captain. It is my pleasure. And thank you very much, Christina, for all of your support. Not just today with that, but I know you've been around for a long time and I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, guys. Absolutely unreal support tonight. And it means a lot. It really does. And it helps me a lot as well.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Billy, there are many people that are fascinated with the continent of Atlantis. Was that a Pleiadian continent? Did the Pleiadians have something to do with Atlantis?
The Pleiadians have nothing to do with old Atlantis. The old Lyrians and Vegans had something to do with Atlantis. I mean, some parts of the Lyrians and Vegans who had stations here on Earth, who was living here on Earth, but they got trouble together and so, and then they destroyed Atlantis through an Adonis. This means a small or a big asteroid they brought to Earth and destroyed Atlantis with them. We have a story, Semyasi told us such a story about Atlantis and what happened there. It's all written in the contact notes.
Yeah, I read that. It was fascinating how it all came to an end. Yeah. There was a city called Mu that they had a...
Mu, I think, was the capital city of the enemies of the Atlantis people. And Mu was, how I know, or I think, in the Chinese desert.
I would like to know how much crossover there is between someone like Billy Meier and like Alex Collier. Like, do these people know each other? Did they talk? Was there like UFO gossip groups in the 80s? Obviously, this is like before the internet, but are these people still sharing information? Like, that's what I would like to know. Beth says, what year is this interview again? Beth, it's in the title, Beth. Come on, Beth. You're better than this. It's in the title, 1989. Scotty says, idea, IKEA, Swedish meatballs. And Jama says, we got to collectively channel our power of intention to help Josh get these guests to come on for interviews like a huge weirdo spirit bomb. That would be cool. You know what? I actually thought today, because I was thinking about this morning with the whole getting interviews thing, and I was thinking, it's not how I would like to do it, but maybe if I just tweeted, like if I just put out a tweet and like tagged someone and said like, hey, do you want to come on for an interview? And then other people just started commenting on it, it would blow up their inbox. That could be a way to do it. It's kind of obnoxious though. I will say it is obnoxious. But if people see that there is actually support for them, like if people see that other people want to see them on the channel, they might be like, okay, I'll do it. I don't know, just an idea, but I feel like that could be fun. But also kind of like very vulnerable, just throwing myself out there, getting rejected in front of thousands of people. But that's okay. That is okay. And look, by the way, guys, there's still 3 $100 super chats up there. That is honestly insane. I'm a little bit lost for words with that. So please, can we please get a weirdo love bomb happening in the chat? Let's just spam those love hearts and get those good vibes pumping out to Aki, out to Christina, and just all of you legends that are supporting. I appreciate you guys.
Are there any people left from Atlantis or Mu or any of them still here?
There shall be some people left, and they shall live in underground cities near the Himalaya, India, and
he's talking about advanced races, non-human races living in underground cities near the Himalayas. It's all connecting. It's all connecting.
They have bluish color on the skin. I have seen it once in India, 3 people with bluish color, and I think they came from there. It was absolutely abnormal in India to see people with blue skin.
Would kind of stand out. Really, speaking of colors, in our galaxy, are there a lot of other human life just like us?
Yes. There are some more than 42 million different human races.
With many different colors of skin, I suppose.
With some around about 340 or 350 different colors.
Mm-hmm. Are many of them visiting Earth?
No, not many.
We hear many stories.
The Pleiadians, they told me there will be about 3,000 or something in-flyings to Earth atmosphere each year by UFOs. But the mostly of them are such ones who are exploring the Earth, and also are they always the same races, the same people who comes here. There are not many aliens who comes to Earth. There are some, of course, but not so many how the people is telling around the world.
Yeah, they seem to be landing every day in California.
Yeah.
Really? Where did the American Indian come from?
The American Indian was one of the first 3 races who was created here on Earth.
The American Indians were one of the first 3 races created here on Earth.
How were we created on?
Interesting that we always hear about the Native Americans being more like they generally are more prone to having these psionic psionic abilities, and I'm putting these up not to take away from the ability itself, but from the term psionic. I feel like that's a very like what happened to just kind of like psychic and intuitive, right? These terms have been around for a long time. Why is it now psionic? Because it just kind of reminds me how like UFO was around for a long time, but now it's UAP. It's like there's this weird shifting of the term, and it just feels like why. I think we played a clip from I think Kurt Metzger the other week where he was talking about this, and he was basically saying how like once you change the term, you're able to then kind of like change the meaning over time, right? Like once you have a new term, you're able to then kind of dictate a new sort of like correlation for that term. Like, you know, UFO was sort of like synonymous with this kind of like X-Files, you know, alien spookiness, whereas like UAP is far more like military, unknown, like threat detection, radar systems. You know, do you understand what I'm saying? Like the word relates to these other sort of like feelings and ideas. And I think that's the same when we talk about like intuition, intuition and psychic. It feels far more like this like human ability, whereas like psionic feels a bit more, just, I don't know, it feels different. It just feels different. And John Anthony gifted 50 memberships. That is going to be rolling for a while. John Anthony, thank you very much, sir. Extremely generous. Let's get some love. Let's get another love bomb in the chat for John and the 50 new freaks. Guys, if you just picked up a membership, welcome. You have access to members-only streams. And for the time that your membership is active, you'll be able to join the member section of our Discord, which is the coolest place to hang out on the internet. So please, you're welcome there. The link is below. Thank you very much, John.
How were we created?
I mean, the first man?
The first creation of human, this was what shall I say? Schleim.
How did it so good?
How did it happen?
You know what's one celler?
Yeah. One cell, like a single cell amoeba, or?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The first human on Earth was starting as a one celler. And then he came as a whoppering kind of something. And throughout of them, slowly, came out and growed up the body of the human being.
Did it start in the ocean?
It started in the ocean.
What about the theory we came from apes?
That's absolutely idiotic.
Where did the apes come from?
The apes, they have the same thing like the human being. They came after the plants. At first was the flora on Earth. And the flora had fallouts, not radioactive fallouts, I mean fallouts of their bodies, and they mixed themselves together, and then came out a new kind of living form, one celler again, and then they grow it up to more celler, and then comes out slowly fish, and out of the fish came later the apes and other animals on land, because fish was going on land, and then came the land animals.
Did the Pleiadians...
And then when happens this, when was here all the flora and the fauna, also the plant life and the animal life. They had the same way to go, and they put out some stuffs, what you call amino
acids.
Yeah, amino acids. And they put them together too, and then was growing up slowly the human being. It's all.
Bleak said, I feel that the Earth might just be an Age of Empires game playing out. Bro, I've spoken about this theory before, a long time ago. But it does, like, there are things that kind of make it seem that way, right? Because you've got people in the modern day saying that there are, like, little g gods, multiple, that are manipulating humanity to make us, you know, fight each other, to make us, you know, like stop us from coming together to further like whatever their own agenda is, right? Like people talk about that in the modern day. And then if you look back in history, like all over the world, you've got these like weird pyramid sites, like all over the world that look very similar, but like slightly different. And it's almost like that was like the starting point of that player or little g god or faction, right? And they've all just kind of like grown out from there and been basically playing over the board, Earth, warring with each other, expanding, growing, creating alliances with other players. And it's just kind of like developed into like where we are today. But like these pyramid points may have been like the origins, the starting point on the board for these factions. I'm so on board with that theory. Probably because I'm a video game nerd, but it just does kind of make sense too. Babs says, keep feeding our minds, Josh. Thank you for sharing. The star people are known as Kachina in the Hopi culture. Thank you very much, Babs. Big fan of the Hopi law and culture as well. Thank you very much.
They're not made out of the apes.
So we have a lot of problems on Earth that we all know about, and many people think maybe the Pleiadians are coming to solve our problems. Are they going to help us in any way that you know of?
No, they don't will help us. The single way they help.
You're such a nerd. You don't need to tell me that. You don't need. I was literally considering watching anime together in Discord after this live stream. Nicole has just gifted $100 as well. What the hell is going on, people? Have you all been a bit too close to the sun with these coronal mass ejections? Okay, is everyone okay? Nicole, thank you so much. And you got that beautiful 12-month badge on there showing that you've been around for a long time, and I appreciate every moment of it. That's honestly insane. Let's get some love in the chat for Nicole. She says, I'm joining the hype train of support. Love this community. Thank you so much. And it really does. It lifts me up too. Honestly, like the vibes here, even before I went live today, like I just wasn't feeling great. Honestly, like I just wasn't feeling good before I turned the stream on today. And I feel better because just like, look at these vibes in the chat. Look at all this positivity, these cool people. Like it really does. It has a positive effect on me too. So thank you for all of your support. Thank you for the $100. It's absolutely insane. I can't say thank you enough. And yeah, just to everyone, you guys are actually insane. Thank you very much.
To bring the teachings, what they belong to our mission. I can get informations, or I got informations, and I can write down them and then give out to the people. That's the only thing they help us.
So it's up to us.
Yeah. They not come here to make peace, they not come here to make war. They not have any ambitions to overtake the earth and the earth human and everything. They aren't interested in this. they only feel them somehow, what you say, guilty
Guiding, yeah.
about their forebears who have done trouble here on earth, and now they want to bring us back the teaching, the spiritual teaching, and the teaching about creation and creation law and life and everything.
With these teachings, if a person wants to learn to evolve and for the initiation, how do we begin?
The first thing what the human have to do to begin to study through the meditation, he has to listen to his inner voice. That's the first step. And to keep these things, what's telling the inner voice, and to work with them. And the second thing is learn to see, to hear, to feel, to speak on a very clear way.
When he says stuff like this, again, this is what resonates with me. This is what resonates with me 100%. Then again, when he's being overly confident, telling us like the exact history of how the Pleiadians work, it's like, oh, that you're losing me a little bit. It's so complicated. It really is. But then it's like, am I just being arrogant? Like, why am I assuming that I should know what this guy knows? It's absolutely mind bending. And speaking of mind bending or mind melding, Michael Phillips, welcome, sir. Thank you for being here. Fantastic show earlier today with Jesse. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I was enjoying it right up until I had to go live here. But great work, bro. Loving it. Keep it up.
And then the meditation themselves. And if the meditation is done after some years, if the meditation is coming clear and good, then the human can go a step higher, and then he can do the initiation. And this means he can begin to start to talk with his inner voice, with his consciousness, and with the spiritual part in him.
Billy, are you still having contacts with Sannyasi?
The contact with Sannyasi ended on 84. Then she left our planet and left our universe to the dull universe, and there she is now living for the next 70 or 72 years without any returning to our universe.
So specific.
The
So specific.
With Sannyasi, they are also gone, but still there is sporadic contact with Da, with Quetzal, Dalida, and all them.
Did Sannyasi have contacts with anybody else while she was?
So he's still basically the Pleiadian that he had contact with as a child is no longer, but he's still having sporadic contact with a couple of others. But this is in 1989, and it's my understanding that Billy Meier he's still alive. So I don't know, I don't know what the update is on that, but I'm pretty sure he is still alive.
No. The single contact Sannyasi had all the time she was on Earth was with me only.
Do any of the other Pleiadians have contacts with people on Earth?
Not on a way that the contact person knows that there is a contact. The people, there are between 24,000 and 25,000 people around the Earth who get contact impulses from Pleiadian and Bavi people. Bavi, it's a race who is working since very old time together with the Pleiadians. And also 25,000 people have contact on impulse base. Also, they don't know anything about that they have contact, that they get impulses from outside, from aliens. Not any one of them. And there was 2 other persons in Germany. They had telepathic contact to the Pleiadians.
I do find it odd that he's able to say, like, oh, there was 2 people in Germany that were in contact with him. Other people around the world are maybe in contact with him, but they don't realize that they are. It's like, bro, how do you have the encyclopedia on who is in contact and who isn't around the whole world? That is where you lose me. The overconfidence and over specifics ironically lose me. Like, I need a little bit of like uncertainty, a little bit of vagueness, like a little bit of humility in knowing that you don't know everything. But then with the things that you do know, feeling that authenticity shine through. That's like, that's what I need. And again, there are some things that do land with me, but then there are some things that just have me, I don't know. We'll have to, we'll put up that poll soon. We'll re-poll this, how everyone's feeling.
Not by Semyase. There was some other people responsible for them, but these 2 people, a man and a 16-year-old girl, they died in the meantime. They had an accident in Italy.
You're starting to sound like a woman, Josh. Yeah, I am a woman. I am a woman, so it makes sense.
And the reason for that these two people had contact, telepathic contact with the Pleiadians, was this because they should come to inform the people about my mission, that everything I'm bringing is true, and that I'm working on this mission with the Pleiadians. They was something like a proof for me, but they died by accident. And now I'm the single one who has telepathic contact with the Pleiadians and physical contact. And there is no any connection between the Pleiadians and any other Earth human being, if man, if child, or if woman. There is just really nothing. And each one who comes and says, oh, I have contact with someone from the Pleiadians from that planet or from that sun system, from the Pleiades and all this. That's all, what you say, swindle, hoax.
Nonsense.
Nonsense.
One of our favorite words.
Yeah. There is around the world not any one person more without me. And the other thing, what all they who say that they have contact with the Pleiadians don't know, is this: the Pleiades, what you can see on the night firmament, there is not any possibility for human to live there. The Pleiades, what you can see on the sky, they are too young as they can carry life. The planets, they are there, they are so young, there is no life possible on it. Too not by the suns, they are too young, they are really blue. And that's the thing what all they who say, oh, I have contact with Pleiadians, not knows. There is not one human being there up on the Pleiadians.
Nobody home.
No. Pleiadians, the Pleiadians, they say that they are coming from the Pleiades. They say this about that point. They have a second part, a little part, or a short part of a second, different time out of our time, of our room and our space. A point where are the Pleiades. You know, if here are the Pleiades we can see on the sky, there are in another room space other planets, and they call them by the same names what we call the Pleiades, what we can see from here on the sky. But it's in another room time, much more finer than our room time and room space.
I think he's obviously talking about complex scenarios here, or complex concepts, but I think the fact that English is not his first language is making it like, it's obviously making it harder, but I think it's doing it a bit of a disservice in that it's taking away from like what his actual message is. I'm trying to listen and to decode not only his concepts but his translation of them, and I will admit it is making it hard. But I'm a big believer in not letting, like, you know, a person's character, a person's accent, a person's character flaws is the main thing, get in the way of the message. Bullshit is his first language. That's fair. That's fair. He's trying to talk about IKEA so badly. Hot tub it is then. No, there's no hot tub stream happening today. Not yet. Translate, please. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was doing that a bit earlier and I did kind of stop. We got a bit derailed. Okay. I'll try and go back to that. Although there's about 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes left. And you know, I do like to keep under 2 hours, and that's probably not going to happen today. So I don't want to stop too much.
Their structure is much more finer as our structure as human being from the earth. And it's impossible for them to make shake hands with the human on earth, or only go near them because it's very dangerous for them. And they also are out of our room space, out of our time space. They are not there where are our Pleiades.
You're saying they exist outside of our time space. This is just my own interpretation. It could be wrong, but to me, that's like if they are existing outside of our time, and if time is a dimension, like the fourth dimension, then to me that means that they're interdimensional, right? What he's saying is that they're interdimensional, which is interesting, obviously, given how much we talk about that happening today. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to. Sorry, let's keep going because I don't want to stop too much.
So, what is telepathy, and can we develop it?
Telepathy, that's kind of hearing too, of listen, but on a very, very fine way. You use the ears for this telepathy. We call it the primary telepathy. That's not the real telepathy. The real telepathy, that's spiritual telepathy, and this goes on and is based on symbols. But the primary telepathy is working on words and on pictures, real like a photography or something, a body or something, what you can produce into other human being through his air.
He's talking about like telepathy, like real telepathy is through symbols or images. I'm not sure I fully like grasp what he's getting at with that. But the first thing I thought of was like the movie Arrival, which we should absolutely watch in Discord very soon because it's a fantastic movie. But the idea that like these non-human beings arrive and they kind of have these symbols that can convey like entire concepts and stories in a way. That's or even I guess you've got like hieroglyphics and stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure what he was getting at with what he's saying here, but it's interesting to hear it relayed back to symbols.
And through his
Consciousness.
Are there exercises?
I never learned.
I think we're going to have to give him the kitchen up soon, but before we stop, what do you got?
Yeah, I've got a couple more. Are we able to evolve far enough in this life to be able to get into the Akashic records and to learn our personal key?
Well, first of all, maybe you could tell us, what is the Akashic record?
Here we go.
The Akashic record is, we call it by another name, cosmical Speicher. There records everything that's a level around the sphere, around the earth. And there will be recorded everything what is doing a human being, what he is thinking, what he is feeling, what he is speaking, what he is doing, everything will be there recorded. And if you die and return in another incarnation, you will get impulses from there. And then you get eine Ahnung.
Unknown.
And then you know things, you know, you get results without knowing from where. That's all made out of this Akashic record.
So he's saying the Akashic record is like a field surrounding the earth that is contains like, you know, all of known sort of like memory, knowledge, history that's happened throughout time. And that when you reincarnate on the world, you'll have ideas and things imprinted upon you seemingly out of nowhere. Like you don't know where they came from, like inspiration, ideas, I guess. And that it comes from this, I guess, like metaphysical web of ideas, which is really interesting if you watch my interview with Dr. Ammon Hillman, when he talks about the muse being the daughter of memory. And obviously, like we often refer to a muse as like a source of inspiration, something that inspires us. It's where ideas come or are channeled from. So to hear him talk about it being the daughter of memory, and Billy Meier kind of describe it in his own way, but kind of saying the same thing, very interesting. I'm a big believer in the Akashic, by the way. I really am.
And sometimes you can find people, but they are very, very few only. They can use the Akashic records for getting impulses out of there from other people, not from himself, because his frequency is very near to them of the other one, who he can get impulses from them. Then maybe can be a drawer or a writer or a componist or something, who get impulses, and then you say, oh, that's Michelangelo. He has contact with Michelangelo, but he hasn't contact with Michelangelo. He only gets impulses out of the Akasha records from that frequency, who had, especially what I told you, Michelangelo.
How do we learn to use the keys? How do we learn what our keys are?
Through the meditation too. Everything you will do on spiritual way or on consciousness way is going through the meditation and initiation. Always. There is no other way.
So we always talk about the word love. What is it?
Got a few days.
It's connected to the hill that the non-speakers access from the telepathy tapes too, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I agree with what Billy's saying here, that all like this metaphysical like layer of reality, like a higher dimensional layer that kind of comes down and acts through us, is only accessible through meditation and through like I guess like a mastery of the mind. Like I do agree with that. I do agree that there are higher dimensions, and I do agree that we may not exist in them, but they can have an effect on us, and like they are real, and we're never going to be able to go there physically, and we're never going to be able to probably like tangibly prove them, but they are there and they do have an effect on us, and they can sort of interface with our dimension non-physically, perhaps showing up as some kind of like weird unexplained phenomena or things that we can't really like wrap our heads around. The same way we can kind of like interface with them, like through meditation, through like astral projection. And it's like kind of going the other way with like, it's like non-physical, we can't really prove it, but everyone is having these like sort of real experiences that kind of feel like almost a bit like, yeah, like you're kind of peering outside of the 3D realm. but it's not something you can ever prove to someone else. It's just something that we can experience both ways on an individual level. I really do believe that.
It's impossible to tell you in a short way.
But there is a thing called love. But there is love.
There is love, of course.
And it's not intellectual, it's spiritual.
I don't have the translated word. There is a short way to say what's the law, but I don't know to tell in English.
Okay.
Maybe if you ask Bruni, he can tell you, he can translate you.
I think maybe we can kind of finish, and if you have maybe just a message to everybody about the information the Pleiadians are bringing us. Maybe just something you'd like to say to people about, a message from yourself about the mission.
And can you look here?
And we'll finish. I think something about how it might be useful to information, or how to learn to be 100% responsible for themselves, or just some reason why they should pay attention to all the information.
You see what I have to say? Each human being, what he is doing every time, at day, at night, week by week, month by month, year by year, he is always responsible for himself. There is not a God who is responsible for the human doing. There are not angels. There is not holy people who is carried for the human being the responsibility. The human being always is responsible for everything for himself.
Put that on a t-shirt. We love that. We love to hear that. The human being is responsible for everything about himself or herself.
Oh, yeah. This can be short. Some years ago, Wendell Stevens, I think, made a model when you were taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the pictures are floating around America. And maybe you could just, a short question. Why they made the models.
There was made 2 models.
Or cat self. Yes, of course. It is 2026. Or cat self, or lamp self, or toaster self, whatever you want to be.
And I think Wendell Stevens and Lee Elders and Tom Welsh got them by a student for each $400, I think. And they brought them both to here when we was filming for the movie Contra, and then we tried to make some of this model flying by a stick and a string, and this was all filmed by these movie people. And one of the models I got for myself as a present, as a souvenir, and this I still have in my office.
Ryan says, I identify as a garbage truck. That's fantastic, Ryan. Well done. Keep going.
One last question.
Okay.
Could you explain the role of the Figu?
The role of the Figu, it's simple. They have to correct everything what I am writing down. to clear up it, and then to print, to make books, and to bring out them to the people over all the world. 2, with the mission to teach the people in the creation laws and with everything what happens around. They have to do a hard work, and they have to learn by themselves, they have to study themselves, they have to meditate, to make initiation and everything. They have to learn who are they really and what they have to do in this life really.
Cooking.
And they have to be here for all the people who is interested in the mission. And the most important thing, our FIGU members, the mostly of our FIGU members are belonging to the old Lyrians, and they are staying under a codex, what they have fixed up several thousand years ago, and they stay now under this codex, and for this codex they have sworn at that time, they have to work for it now. And that's not only with our people here in Hinterschmidrütti, in the Semi-Alta Silver Star Center. The same will be in the United States, like we have the same in Japan or in Sweden. They have to fulfill their mission, what they was saying for it we will doing some 389,000 years ago.
I only need one other thing.
Just one more. Come on, I need the kitchen back.
I only need like 20 seconds of just quietness so in case we need to put rooms on it.
I'm at the door.
Use that room.
Thanks, Phil. That was real good. And we'll, a lot of good things.
The poll is up in the chat. How are you now feeling about Billy Meier? I have the old results here so we can compare, but we'll let that run for a little bit. Perfectly Imperfect says, this is great, Josh. Thank you. Thank you very much for the support. And thank you, everyone, for the support today. It's been a surprisingly wild stream, and I really do appreciate it a lot. It means a lot to me. The Billy Meier stuff. Okay, how am I feeling about it? I think the core message, I think, is fantastic, and you know the fact that it does seem to be a core message with like a lot of these contactees, right? It's about like taking accountability, meditating, trying to figure out who you are, connecting with something higher. Like I feel like this is just inherently a good thing, full stop, no matter what. Like it can't be a bad thing, and it does feel like the world is in a place where that is actually like what is needed. Like that does seem like the cure if it could be applied on a wide scale. I do wonder if like if some of these people get caught up and develop, and I'm not saying this is the case with Billy, but to some degree develop a like messiah complex. Like I feel like that's a pretty harsh word, but like I said, that's on a spectrum, right? Like some people go crazy with a messiah complex, and then sometimes there's just like little elements of it. It's like, oh, do you kind of think you're the chosen one or something like that, and then they start speaking with like a little too much authority. I think Ra Clark said it really well there by saying they adding law to the story, and LAW, right? Adding law, as if like their word is final. They know all ends of the truth, and like this is how it is. And even if that is the case, I feel like when people are trying to wrestle with something like beyond our perception, something metaphysical, interdimensional, I think anyone speaking with so much certainty like that is always going to turn a critical thinker off. It might rope in someone who isn't a critical thinker though, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, this guy is a prophet." You know what I mean? But I think anyone who can think for themselves is going to realize that most of the time, people with like the most wisdom or intelligence are usually very aware of the fact that there's so much that they don't know. And that's why I say, to me, when people are open about the idea that they're unsure on certain details, or they just straight up don't know things, that is a sign of authenticity and realness to me. And I'm drawn towards that because that's real. But obviously, if every answer they said, I don't know, then you have to know something, right? You have to draw something out of that. So it's a balance. I think overall, I haven't even put my vote in. Wait, I can't vote. Okay, well, if I was going to vote on the poll, which I can't vote on, which sucks, I would be voting on that there is some good in there, and we will end that poll, and we'll have a look at how it compares to it at the beginning of the stream. So, at the beginning of the stream, the only answers were unsure, sus, or truth. 43% of the people were unsure about him. 29% was sus, and 28% thought he was speaking truth. We now have 61% of you guys thinking that there is some good in what he's saying, 14% all truth, 14% all bullshit, and 11% of you guys are still unsure. Probably not the best ideas to change the answers. Kind of makes it hard to measure it up. But I think most of us are on the same page here in the fact that we can see that there is some good bits and some good nuggets in what he's saying. But it's always good to sort of, keep one foot in, one foot out, and realize that, you can't just buy into everything. But it's a good practice to just, take the pieces, keep them, not go too hard into any of it, and see what lines up as the rest of it unfolds. So thank you guys for hanging out today. I will say as well, I'm probably going to be AFK for a couple of days. I might be able to get a video out while that's happening, but I'm getting my whole back tattooed tomorrow, so I'm going to be pretty out of action. And the following days, I've got to do a visa run, which was not expected. So I've been kicked out of the country. So I've got a little bit coming on, but hopefully some stuff will be coming on the channel then. I've got an interview filmed with Michael Phillips from Third Eye Drops. That'll be coming out soon as well. And got a bunch of stuff, and then I'm away again for a week. So hopefully I might be able to get a stream in or two while I'm away, hopefully. But I'll try and get some video content to release while I'm away for you guys as well. And obviously there'll be travel vlogs from that too. So again, thank you guys for all of the love and support today. Absolutely unreal. We are raising the vibration out here. Appreciate you guys so much. Keep being good to each other. Be kind. Join Discord. The link is below. We have movie nights in there, and it's just a great place to hang out with like-minded people as well. So keep touching grass, guys, and I will see you all very soon. Peace.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.